Now, Madam Speaker, on Sunday, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard fired dozens of missiles near the U.S. consulate in Iraq. This brazen attack on a civilian area by the terrorist arm of the Iranian regime was unjustified, illegal, and dangerous. And Madam Speaker, the President of the United States has not said one word about these missiles from Iran, which has bragged about it towards the U.S. consulate in Iraq. Iran continues to wage an aggressive terror campaign against America and our allies. Remember, Iran's parliament has chanted death to America, and the commander-in-chief of the Revolutionary Guard has vowed to set ablaze Israel. I would think with missiles being shot at Americans, the Secretary of State, and at the very least the President of the United States would say and stand against this. And yet the Biden administration is quietly rushing ahead with a bad agreement that would give Iran, the world's leading state sponsor of terror, nuclear weapons. President Biden has kept Congress and the American people in the dark about this dangerous deal, which is illegal and goes against legislation this body has passed. And when you look at the troubling terms, it's easy to see why they want to keep us and America in the dark. It would lift our most significant terrorism and missile sanctions and send Iran hundreds of billions of dollars. That means Iran would receive a windfall of cash to continue the terror campaign they have engaged in on Sunday and on every day. This agreement is entirely on Iran's terms. But what's even worse, who's negotiating it? While the world looks at the evil of Putin and Russia killing innocent and murdering throughout Ukraine, it's this administration that has Russia negotiating with Iran on America's behalf. Now, what does the Russian ambassador say? He says the deal Biden administration is negotiating gives Iran much more than it could expect, much more. And in return for making significant concessions, we get nothing. No serious system to check if the Iranian regime is cheating on the terms of the deal. No safeguards against Iranian terrorism that we saw on Sunday targeting Americans. No leverage over the expanded trade between Russia, China, and Iran. And nothing to help the Iranian people. This reported agreement is even worse than the Obama-Iran deal of 2015. Under the terms of this deal, Iran would be a nuclear state in the blink of an eye. It would have enough uranium to create nuclear bombs which would endanger America, Israel, and the entire world. This is not only unthinkable, it is unacceptable. We should not allow the rogue Iranian regime to have nuclear weapons. The Biden administration has made a dangerous mistake by negotiating with the Iranian regime. They made a terrible mistake time and again how they pulled out of Afghanistan, welcomed a pipeline to Putin, and said in a press conference, if Putin just takes part of Ukraine, it wouldn't be so bad. And now Iran sends weapons, missiles at Americans, and not one word is said, but a negotiation continues, using Russia as our negotiator. This Biden administration has made a dangerous mistake. Furthermore, President Biden has compounded his mistake by relying on Russia to negotiate on our behalf and reportedly giving them written guarantees that the deal would protect their trade with Tehran. Think about that. We're making major concessions on Russian trade with Iran at the very moment are sanctioning Russia for the merciless killing of Ukrainians. That's outrageous and just plain stupid. Has President Biden learned nothing? Our objective is to isolate Putin, not empower him. The Russians should not be responsible for anything, especially not a major deal, and should never speak on behalf of Americans. I urge President Biden to make the right choice. Walk away. Because knowing when to walk away from the negotiating table is just as important as knowing when to sit down. It is also very important when to stand up. If a terrorist country sends weapons and missiles to attack Americans and you stay silent, that is the wrong answer, wrong response, and leads to a dangerous future. Stand up for America. Stand up for freedom and stand up for what's right and walk away from this agreement. With that, I yield back.
Members are reminded to